This video will show you how to do APA format for most of Dr. S's written assignments. For APA format, we have a very specific requirements in terms of title pages, reference pages, headings, paraphrasing, and all of that. It is not a good idea to use engines on the internet for trying to format your paper because many times they're wrong. Plus, it only takes a couple of minutes on your part to make sure that your paper is in APA format. I'm going to show you how to do it in Microsoft Word 2007. The first thing we need to do to set our paper into APA format is to make sure the margins are 1 inch. Click on Page Layout, Margins, and then click on 1 inch all around. Once you've set the margins, make sure that the text is going to be double spaced by clicking on the caret underneath paragraph, and under line spacing, clicking double space. All of the papers in APA format have a specific type of heading, the first page being different than following pages. To do the first page's heading, click Insert, Header, Blank, and then click on the little caret that says Different for first page. Make sure that your cursor is all the way to the left and type in the words running head, followed by a colon. Now you'll type in the title, all in capital letters. Make sure that your title is not longer than 1 line of text. After the title, press Tab a couple of times until your cursor is all the way to the right, and insert a page number at that current position. Now we've set the page heading for just the first page. The second and third pages will all be slightly different than what we see here. I'll show you how to do that later. Double-click anywhere on the document to get out of the header, and for the title page, you're going to press Enter several times until your cursor is halfway down, centered in the middle. We'll put the title here, this time only the first letters of each word being capitalized. You'll put your name, and you'll put your affiliation, which is a fancy word for saying your college name. Double space down and put your class information, making sure that you put the day and time that your class meets. You're done with the title page, so insert a page break to get onto your first page of text. If you are doing a paper, this will be your abstract, so we'll title it Abstract. To do the header, double-click in the header section, and where it says Type Text, put your title, again, all in caps, making sure that it is flush left, and press Tab a couple of times so that you can insert a page number all the way to the right. We no longer have to mess with any more of the formatting for the headers because pages 2 will look like every other page afterwards. The abstract is a summary of your paper, 150 words to 250 words. There is no indent on the abstract, and the abstract should tell us what the purpose of the paper is and should tell us if there are hypotheses, what they are, and whether or not they were confirmed. After the abstract, you're going to insert another page break to start your first page of text, again with a title that is centered in the middle. Instead of the word introduction, we use the title as the introduction opening. And this will have a regular indent like most normal writing. Your introduction should contain the purpose of your paper again, and it should state any of the important definitions for your particular paper. I'm going to show you here as well how you would do a paraphrase and direct quote. A direct quote is started with a quotation mark, then the words of somebody else, close the quotation marks, space, open parentheses, put the author's last name, comma, the year that the document was published that you're getting the direct quote from, and period, the page number that it came from. If you got it from a Word document, instead of putting period, you're going to put paragraph and then list the paragraph number. Make sure that you do not use a quote that exceeds 3 lines. This is a block quote, and I do not allow block quotes in any of my papers. For a paraphrase, you are using your own words to describe somebody else's idea. This does not start or end with quotation marks. It does end with a parentheses, the author's last name, comma, the year, close parentheses, and period. Notice that for both the paraphrase and the quote, the period goes at the end of the parentheses, not before the quotation or before the first parentheses there. So a paraphrase, again, is you using somebody else's idea, but using your own words to explain it, and it does not have a page number listed. A direct quote has quotation marks around it and has the page or paragraph number listed. Again, do not exceed 3 lines in a quote, because this is not allowed for any of my papers and requires different formatting. You'll have several headings for your paper. If it's an analytical paper where you're summarizing other people's findings, you'll probably have headings that have to do with the different subtopics of your paper. If it is an experimental paper, then you'll have the words, the second heading will be methods. The third heading will be results. The fourth heading will be discussion. Okay, and these will all be bolded as well as centered. In between these sections, you do not need to have a new page start. So these will have regular paragraphs with regular indenting and regular formatting, no extra pages in between. At the end of the paper, you'll insert another page break to start the reference page. The reference page will have the word references in the center, not bibliography or works cited, but the words references. Then you're going to format your paper with hanging indents. So you go to paragraph, clicking on the caret, indentation, special, you'll click hanging. This means that the first line will be all the way to the left and any subsequent lines will be indented in. For a journal article, you'll have the author's last name, the author's first initials, and then if there are multiple authors, an and sign and the second author's last name and their first initials. After all the authors' names are inputted, you'll put a parenthesis, the year that the article was published, the title of the article, only the first word and any word after a colon capitalized. Then you'll put the journal's name. Then you'll put the volume number, and then you'll put the page number with the period. Go back and italicize the name of the journal and the volume number. If you got this from an online source, there will also be a DOI number that should be denoted with DOI colon and then the DOI information, which is a series of letters, numbers, and slashes. If there is no DOI number, then your reference ends with a period after the page number. For a book, you have a slightly different formatting. You put the author's last name, first initials, the year that the book was copyrighted, the title of the book, making sure if there's more than one edition to tell us what edition it is that you're using, the location that the book was published. If there is more than one location, pick the one that is closest to you, colon, and then the publisher's name. Go back and italicize the title of the book. You'll see here that there is double spacing, but no extra spacing in between one reference and the next reference. Once you're done with the references, you're done with the paper.